Hey everyone, I'm out with Ozark Overland Adventures, and this is the very massive Bluetti AC500 with the Bluetti B300S battery pack. You may recall not too long ago I reviewed the slightly smaller AC300. Well, this is its much bigger brother, the AC500. With a slightly different battery pack. That was with the B300, this is the B300S. I'll get into the differences here in just a minute. What makes this thing so incredible is the modularity of it. This piece right here, the AC500, all by itself, it does nothing. It has no battery built into this thing. What you do is you pair 1, 2, 3, up to 6 B300Ss. You can also do the older B300s. You can pair up to 4 of those. But you can pair up to 6 B300Ss. The B300S by itself, just one of these, gives you 3,072 watt hours worth of power, which is a lot all by itself. And then you can pair up to 6 of these with this, giving you over 18,000 watt hours worth of power. So if you are in an environment where power outages are common, hurricanes, tornadoes, maybe you live in California, blackouts, I don't know. This is a serious contender for being able to power your home, power your necessities in the case of those type of power outages. That's really what this is for. Now, if you own an RV or if you own a van and don't want to get into the complicated wiring and stuff of the onboard power systems, this is also a viable option for that, because you'll see this has 2 different 30 amp ports to be able to plug an RV in. It also has a 50 amp port. Now, from what I understand, you actually need 2 of these in parallel, which Bluetti makes an adapter to be able to connect 2 of these for 240 volts to be able to use the 50 amp plug. But that is a viable option. Now, let me get into the specs, and then we're going to have some fun with this thing. The AC500 versus the AC300. This one has a 5,000 watt pure sine inverter in it, which is why it has 2 30 amp plugs. It has the 50 amp plug. You'll see it only has three of the normal home style outlets. It's only got 3 of those because this is designed to plug in bigger things. It has 2 USB quick charge ports. It's got 2 standard USB, 5 amp ports. It has 2 100 watt USB-C power delivery ports. It has a 24 volt 10 amp socket here, which if you're running a fridge or a lot of things that plug into these can go 12 or 24 volts, but just make sure that whatever it is can do 24 volts because this is 24, not 12 volts. And then it has Bluetti's much sought after 12 volt 30 amp port, which you do have to have an aviation connector to plug in there, and then output via XT60 or Anderson, that sort of thing, to plug in multiple 12 volt devices here. I don't have an adapter for this, so I can't use it. But those with RVs and vans and stuff, these are very prized possessions to be able to pull 30 amps of DC off of these. You can run a lot of things in an RV off 30 amp DC port. Now, with the potential for 18,000 watt hours of power being connected to the AC500, they back that up with massive, just unheard of amounts of charging potential. This thing can charge at 50 amps and 240 volts. this thing can accept up to 5,000 watts of AC power. Now, I don't have any ability to charge this that fast. The most I can do is about 2,000 watts of input just here at home. And I'll show you that here in just a minute. But it can charge up to 5,000 watts of AC input. It can also charge with 3,000 watts of solar. This has two 1,500 watt MPPT solar controllers in here. So you can put 1,500 watts into one, 1,500 watts into the other one, or if you have mixed solar arrays and you can do 800 watts on one and 1,500 watts on the other, that's totally fine because they're two separate controllers in here. So you can get up to 3,000 watts of solar input. That is insane. And what is even more insane on top of that is you can combine those two together to give you almost 8,000 watts of input. Now, the funny thing is you can also charge this with the little car plug and get 100 watts. I don't know why anybody would want to charge this with a car plug, but you have that option. So 8,000 watts of charging input, which means if you've got that full 6 B300S attached to this thing, 18,000 watts, potentially 8,000 watts of input. I mean, you can have the whole array recharged in about 4 hours. Now, if you've, if you've got one or two of these, I think is very reasonable. You can have those charged in just in an hour, which is just mind-blowing that you could charge 6,000 watts of battery bank in an hour. So that is the insane specs of this thing. It also has two wireless charging ports up here, so you can just take your phone and drop it on top there and it starts charging, which is, I love this feature. Bluetti's actually taken this feature away from some of their newer smaller power stations. I wish they hadn't. I actually use these things. I just think it's super handy to not have to find a cord and just drop your phone on there and let it charge. But, reasons. Now, as you can imagine with something like this, this is not lightweight. The AC500 alone with the charging capabilities, the 5,000 watt pure sine inverter, this thing weighs 66 pounds just by itself. The battery, the B300S, weighs 84 pounds. So in total, you're talking like 130 pounds for this setup right here. So this isn't something you're just like throwing in the back of your vehicle for a for an overlanding trip type of thing. This is something you want to put in place and leave it. You do have the potential to move it around if need be, because it's got good sturdy handles on both of these, but it's real heavy. So this isn't designed for just throw it in the back of your truck, throw it in the back of your SUV and go camping for the weekend. That's not the purpose of this. Now, the main thing that distinguishes the B300S from the standard B300 is something that I have not seen in any other type of power station. And that is, this has a built-in heater. This can actually discharge and charge down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Because once it gets below its threshold of charging and discharging capabilities, this heater will kick in to get it to where it needs to be and continue charging and discharging down to -4 degrees Fahrenheit. I cannot think of a single other power station on the market that can do that. It's becoming more common with lithium iron phosphate batteries, just standalone batteries that you put into a battery bank. I've got them in the back of my Gladiator that are self-heating batteries. First one I've ever seen in a power station. That's way cool. All right, so I have currently got this plugged into the wall. It is currently charging at 1,600 and basically 1,700 watts. Now, as with all modern Bluetti power stations, this does connect to the Bluetti app. And from the app, I can see that it's pulling 1,700 watts. Now, the thing with charging this in such a high amperage way to get it to that 5,000 watts, you have to go into the settings here and go to advanced settings, go to max current of grid, and you can enter the pro mode. Let's see, I'm not going to tell you what the passcode is because you have to contact Bluetti for that. But the max that I can realistically do in my house is 20 amps. So I'm going to change that to 20 amps. Their cord that comes with this is actually rated for 15 amps. So I'm pushing it a little bit to get 20 amps out of it. So let's change that to 20 amps. And let's see what happens here. Boom, now we're hitting 2,200 watts of AC input here at 20 amps. So I can't go any farther than that. I'm gonna actually turn this down to 15 amps. And bingo, now we're back down to the 1,700 watts. Now, let's have some fun with this thing. We've got 5,000 watts worth of output power here. Let's see if we can max it out. Let's just, you know, throw some USB devices on there, just, you know, just because we can. And DC, AC are both on. Okay, laptop's charging. Do need to charge my drone batteries as well. So let's throw those onto the two USB-C ports. Those probably pull some of the most power. Let's see, my little inflator here for my tent mattress needs to be charged. We'll plug that in. I have a feeling it's about to, it's stupid hot outside, which is why I'm currently doing this inside. So let's plug the little fan in here, and we'll turn it on high. There we go. Let's see, total DC output. I mean, even with all this, we're only at 100 watts. That's baby stuff. Let's see. Let's plug a waffle maker into this and see what we get. 860 watts. Let's plug the toaster in and turn it on. What does that get us to? It's almost 2,000 watts. Let's see. I hesitate plugging this in because it's a space heater and I don't want to heat up the room, but I know this pulls a lot of power, so let's plug this one in. Let's see here. Power, max, high. Let's see what that's giving us. 2,700 watts, 28. All right, we're at 3,000 watts, 3,100 watts, 32. All right, I'm gonna have to get an extension cord because I don't have anything that can plug into the 30 amp stuff. 3,200 watts. Let me get a hair dryer. Let me unplug this. Let me get a hair dryer and I'll be right back. All right, I've got an extension cord here. Let's see, let's turn that back on. There's no way this extension cord is rated for this much power. Let's turn the waffle maker on, back on. Oh, that was already on. Oh. Okay. I'm a little nervous. I don't think this extension cord is rated for this much power. But we're gonna see what happens here. Let's go low. Where are we? 3,500 watts now. That's just 3,800 watts. Let's go high. Well, I'm gonna hold this to make sure it's not getting too hot. Where are we? 4,948, 4,983. I mean, we are right there at the 5,000 watts. Oh, and my extension cord's getting warm. Okay, there we go. All right, well, yeah, so this is absolutely ridiculous. This is the highest wattages things I could find in my house, minus running an extension cord to the microwave. Yeah, I mean, this will run anything in your house, like anything. I wish I had like a jacuzzi out back and just run the jacuzzi off this. That's insane. Okay, well, the funny thing is I actually just tripped the breaker on my house outlet. Running all this and charging, and yes, I had to go reset the breaker. I noticed that this wasn't charging anymore, and now it's back to charging. So I just went and reset the breaker. So this is a very, very powerful power station home backup disaster. Input, AC input from this, and in the case of a power outage, switch over to this and be able to power your home from your electrical sockets from your house. So that's a really cool feature for this thing. Now that we've had the fun, let me show you some more of the details here. So the screen is Bluetti's put the screen on a lot of their bigger power stations. So you get all the appropriate settings here. You get a ton of them. You can turn the AC on and off. You get to see the input and output from both DC and AC separately. In your settings here, you can change your language. You can change your AC and output, your AC output frequencies and voltages, and DC input source. So if you're solar charging, it should be set on PV. If you're plugging this into your car outlet, you set it to other for that. You get eco mode, which I like to keep off because I don't want this thing shutting down on me. You do have machine type single phase. If you have two of these connected together through Bluetti's adapter, change that to dual phase. Working mode standard UPS. This does function as a UPS, and there's multiple ways to do it. Most people just leave that in standard. Silent mode, if you don't want the fans to run as much. Max current settings, what I did with the app you can do here just directly on the screen. PV parallel enabled. Power lifting, which I don't like to use. Deep discharge. So if this thing hits 100%, but you just have to have a little bit more power, maybe to charge something in an emergency, that sort of thing, you can hit that deep discharge and it will give you a little more power and take the batteries below what it's rated at 0. That does do a little bit of damage to the batteries to do that, so you want to use that very, very sparingly. But in case of an emergency, it's there, and I think that's pretty handy. You get buzzer settings, touch, beeps, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi enabled. Both of those are on. You got your brightness settings here. You can do sleep time for the screen, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes for the purposes of this video. I put it on never so it doesn't shut off and you can just keep seeing it. You can, of course, restore the factory settings, and it's got date and time there. So tons of information on that screen. And then you have the app. In the app, you can do all the same things. You just don't have to go over to the screen. You can sit on your couch and control it from there. But you can turn your DC and AC outputs on and off. You can check your battery information. You can see it shows up to 6 packs. Again, you've got to 56% and it's currently charging. You can go in the advanced settings, and here you can do your connection modes. You can change your UPS settings, power lifting, the silent charging, auto sleep, firmware upgrades. Bluetti's great at issuing firmware upgrades. I am up to date. That is excellent. Then you can get in your advanced settings, and here is where you do that and enable Pro mode with the code and all the information about your device. So Bluetti's app is great and works very, very well. Now there's two big questions that I would have for something this large. One, how much is this going to cost? And two, how long is this going to last for my investment? Well, the answer to the first question is it's actually not bad. At the time of this recording, you can get the single B300S combo with the AC500 for $24.99. That combo puts this at 81 cents per watt hour, which is really good. And the crazy thing is, the more B300Ss you purchase with it, that cost per watt hour goes down significantly. They have a 2 battery pack combo, so you get 2 B300Ss with the AC500 for $4,099. That puts the cost per watt hour at only 64 cents, which is the lowest cost per watt hour I've ever seen in a power station. That is incredible. Obviously, that continues to go down the more B300Ss you purchase to go with this. Obviously, something this big is going to be expensive, but your cost per watt hour is one of the lowest I've ever seen in a power station. So that's awesome. And to help with that price a little bit more, there is a link in the description and a coupon code to save you an additional $200 when you purchase from Bluetti's website. There's also a link and a code to save a little bit on Amazon, but that time frame for that one is very limited, especially considering the time frame that this video is being released. But order from Bluetti's website, and the link and code in the description should last for a very long time. Now, longevity. These are lithium iron phosphate batteries, and they are rated for 3,500 cycles, or they say that's like 10 years. And this comes with a 4-year warranty. So Bluetti does back that up really well with the 4-year warranty over this. And I've used Bluetti support before and have had good luck with them. I had a B300 that went bad on me and had to contact them, and they ended up shipping me a new one. So I've had good luck with Bluetti support for something similar to this with the older B300 battery. Now with this, you get all the obvious cords and paperwork and manuals, but you get the power cord, which does plug into a proprietary port there on the Bluetti. So not just any power cord will do. You got to have that one. You get the solar input connector. It does connect to Bluetti's little input here. This does split and go to 2 separate MPPT controllers. So you've got a PV1 and a PV2 here. So this one goes to one MPPT, this one goes to the other MPPT controller. So you can hook up to 2 1,500 watt arrays to this. So that's awesome. And you get the car adapter, so you can take this, plug it into here, and then plug that into your cigarette lighter 12-volt port in your vehicle and charge this at a super fast 90 to 100 watts, which would take like 40 hours to recharge this from dead. So again, awesome that they have it. You can use it in a pinch, but it's there. So that's funny to me. Now the B300S can serve as its own power station without the AC500. It has its own 500 watt solar input on this. You actually get a cable for that that comes with the B300S. It does come with 2 USB ports, a USB-A quick charge and a USB-C 100 watt, and you get a 12 volt 10 amp socket here. So this one's 24 volt, this one's 12 volt. So that's handy. You get extra ports with this, and with each B300S you get more USB ports and more 12 volt ports. You can also, there's also an adapter on the side. You can AC with their AC brick wall charger, you can use that to charge this as well. And this can charge with those in addition to what's coming from the AC500, I believe. Now, the screen on this, you're limited to just the little five dots. So this is designed to be with this, but in a pinch, you can use this by itself. Now, I do have some gripes with this. I get why the 30 amps are here. The 50 amp, if you can only use that when you've got two of these connected together, I feel like maybe that 50 amp should be built into the adapter and not taking up space here. Because as you can see, it could be really handy to have way more than 3 standard AC outlets here. I mean, with 3, you're never going to max it out. Now, obviously, if this is not designed for that, so I understand that it's designed to plug in higher wattage things and run it that way through, plug in the 30 amp, send it through a distribution box to your house, that sort of thing. So I get that. But for, this type of being able to just plug things in an emergency, I would rather have, I don't know why there's not 6 of these. I mean, these are so big, they could move this up and put 6 of these AC ports. I mean, you got 5,000 watts worth of power. Why not have 6 AC ports here? That's just like wasted real estate right there. So that's really my only 2 gripes, is this, the outputs don't communicate to this, and there's not enough outputs on the AC outputs here. So there you go. But from an emergency preparedness, disaster recovery standpoint, this thing knocks it out of the park. For an RV owner needing extra power, this knocks it out of the park. There's just the potential with this to power your home, to power your RV, to power your van, is just almost limitless with the expandability and all that. So I think this is way cool. I hope this was helpful, and I get lots of questions about power stations, and they range from 200 watt hours up to potentially 18,000 watt hours. Doubling this with doing 2 of these together with 12 total of these. I mean, that's doing the math. 36,000 watt hours of potential power with 2 of these joined together, which is, my brain could barely comprehend that. What crazy times we live in, right? I hope you found this helpful. I hope you see the use case for this. If you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll do the best I can. Please, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon link in the description. If you like the content that we're putting out, you want to consider supporting the channel, get access to special events, special content, all of our GPS data from our trips. That link's in the description. For all of our merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.